My Soulmate's a Slime by admay19 Alvarez and Tempest. Shedding Tree. You are lying. You are a liar. Get this off me. Maya yells in frustration, rubbing the rose mark on her wrist hard that her skin began to turn red. If I were to have a soulmate, not to the likes of you, Aish. Why is this mark so stubborn? The butler could only chuckle in amusement seeing the princess attempt to rub it off and failing. Ah, sorry my dear, but you'll only hurt yourself doing that. We all know the laws of soulmate, don't we? So whether you like it or not, the rose stays. Maya could only grit her teeth staring daggers at her supposed soulmate. Not that she doesn't like him or anything, it just took her by surprise. She never expected to be soulmated that day. If you'd excuse us, King Rimuru, Princess Maeva, I'd like to have a word with my new soulmate. The demon bows to the still stunned group before he raised his hand and Maya was lifted in the air and onto his awaiting arms. Maya had enough. You sly monster. Nestled in his arms bridal style, the annoyed princess took that chance to swing her fist and hit the male right on the cheek, his head turning to the side. The butler stayed that way for a while before he looked down at her, clearly having fun. Era, my princess is a warrior, That punch is quite powerful. Anyways. He trailed off walking away, leaving the trio behind who still can't believe what had recently occurred. Rimuru turned to see Maeva beaming a fond smile at the retreating pair. He sighed in relief as he was worried, it had raged her. It's just a shock after all. So then, how about a chat in my office, Princess Maeva? The young ruler addressed. The lady wizard then turned to her host and nodded. I'd like that. But please no need to be so formal. Maeva is fine. I am not really used to such diplomatic titles and all. I prefer casualty if you don't mind, she requested with a gentle smile that had Rimuru marvel at her in disbelief. Ever since reincarnating in that world, he'd gotten so used to making connections with kings and VIPs that he had forgotten there are the likes of Princess Maeva. Wait, she's a princess of Alvarez though, so why isn't she used to diplomatic relations? Maeva tilted her head to the side, wondering what is taking him so long to answer. Ah, all right then. In that case, just call me Rimuru as well, he relented, not hesitating one bit. She's a potential partner to Tempest, if casual is her thing then so be it. Xian is the one hesitant though. There is just no way, Maeva wouldn't address him with a title. Everyone does so, even kings and nobles call him by his king title, so why would this princess discard that? Are you sure, Rimuru-sama? You are the king of Tempest and a demon lord? It's fine, Xian, compared to Tempest, Alvarez is an established empire. Besides I would also like that, Rimuru assured her worried secretary before looking back at Maeva. Maeva looks around as soon as Rimuru let her in his office. Some snacks and tea were already there prepared by some of the goblins. Sit down please, gesturing at the seat across him. Rimuru then sat comfortably and grabbed his cup of tea. I hope you'll find it your liking, Maeva. This tea is from our own land and the best there is. Thank you, I will surely enjoy it, the lady chides taking the tea in her hands. Rimuru observed his guest. The way she sits down, her actions, the way she speaks, how she drinks her tea, one could tell right away she is from a high-class family. And if she keeps silent, no one would even know she's a princess. Yet putting that aside, he knew at first glance she's no ordinary princess. He could feel a different magical powers from her that he couldn't point out yet. Maeva, may I ask what brings you and your sister to our nation? Rimuru asked, all hints of playfulness thrown out the window. I just can feel there is a bigger reason on why you came here, he says straightforwardly, and the lady was not exactly surprised. Maeva had expected that, and she doesn't plan on lying. Putting her cup down, she looked at the ruler straight in the eyes. To eliminate you. Rimuru gasped at the statement. He had been suspicious of that all along, but he was hoping that it not the case. And when she introduced herself as royalty of Alvarez, he very much desired, they'd want to be allies. Turns out he was wrong, and yet before he could respond, Maeva beat him to it. My sister and I are also wizards from Fairy Tale, and we received a request from a client to come and eliminate the evil slime that is planting fear and chaos all over the forest of Jura. His gaze darkens at that, his very orbs digging into her. Evil slime, huh? He doesn't care about Fairy Tale and if they are wizards. If they are here to kill him, They'd have another thing coming. He felt some of his loyal subordinates wanting to teleport to where he is as they felt danger, but he blocked them quickly. He wants to deal with this alone. Many had come and tried to kill him, but all were unsuccessful. In the end, most became loyal allies of Tempest. Maeva, seeing him all riled up, smiles gently and raised both her hands. Don't worry, I will do no such thing, I promise. Rimuru's expression quickly changed at that, his eyes looking at her in wonder. Fairy Tale is not a bad guild, just like you aren't a bad slime.
Huh, yes, indeed the client's request was to eliminate you, but we wizards always make sure there aren't any misunderstandings or personal grudge. And in this case it's a personal grudge. You just want a place where everyone can coexist peacefully. Fairy Tale and Alvarez supports you in that regard.
It took a while for Rimuru to process all of that information. Personal grudge? Who'd he have angered that he requested a wizard to kill him? But in the end, this lady spared him as they saw for themselves how Tempest really is. He sighed in relief and slumped down on his seat, now fully relaxed. Seems like I have worried you. I am sorry about that, Maeva apologized, bowing slightly. Of course you did. I really thought you were here to do something which will force me to lay a hand on you. And if I did, I'd be waging war on your kingdom, which I am sure will eliminate Tempest in an instant. Don't sell Tempest short. I saw all kinds of monsters here of high-caliber magic.
True, but my nation would stand no chance against your emperor alone. Maeva's brows furrowed at that. My emperor. Rimuru nods, sipping his tea. Emperor Zirf Dragneel. Maeva couldn't help but chuckle at that. Well, kind of true, but that is not what she is giggling about.
Rimuru looked at her, silently questioning what made her chuckle, seeing as his statement isn't funny at all. Oh, I'm sorry, Rimuru. It's just that my brother is known as scary and everything, but he truly is not. He is just a free-spirited lad who likes to roam around everywhere and bury himself in books, she explained, chuckling again upon remembering how endearing her older brother actually is. Rimuru could only blink in disbelief before a smile graces his lips, seeing how his guest is this happy at the mention of her older sibling. She sure adores that brother of hers. Well, at least this matter is solved quickly without bloodshed. I see. Well then, Maeva, why don't you and your sister stay here in Tempest for a while? I'd like you to experience firsthand what Tempest has to offer, he invited with a smile and a fond look past the princess. I very much like that, Rimuru. Thank you. The Dragneel sisters could only sit still and watch everything as the lady goblins served them dishes for dinner. After Rimuru toured them personally for the rest of the afternoon, the both of them were shown the hot springs, and now here is some mouth-watering delicacies right in front of them. Talk about hospitality. Now they wonder if this king is like that to all of his visitors. Given his personality, no doubt about that.
Just clad in robes after their bath, the little feast began with Rimuru joining them and some of his trusted officials.
A female goblin was about to serve them alcohol, but Maeva quickly declined politely. I am so sorry, we don't drink any alcoholic drinks. Thank you though, the princess smiled as she took the fruit juice instead. Lifting her head, she saw everyone looking at her like she just did something that made their jaw drop. She felt her cheeks reddening, her gaze quickly dropping back down. It's not that we are forbidden to drink or anything like that, it's just my sister here is, you could say, the proper princess type. She never had a sip of any alcoholic drinks since birth. Maya gave her away, nudging her sister by the shoulder, who only glared at her. And here I was thinking you're the type who'd go wasted on alcohol, Rimuru teased, holding his beer cup and waving it in the air. That is quite the impression you have on me, you monster king. Is not drinking any alcohol forbidden now? Maeva retorts, clicking her tongue, hearing him chuckle. And how about you, darling? Ever experienced getting wasted on alcohol? Diablo suddenly appeared behind Maya, who flinched in surprise. The princess in return grabbed the tempura on her plate and threw it at her soulmate, who dodged it with ease. The shrimp flew across the room, the high officials dodging it till it smacked Gobta straight on the face.